This is poetry from Poetic G.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm King George. I'm the owner of T.Y.I Productions. I'm the curator of Black 31 Magazine. I'm here right now in the Black Reserve Bookstore. Very, very prolific brother, Dr. Robert Beale. Mr. Dr. Robert Beale, I would love to know more about you. I want to know the history of, where you come from and education.
Again, my name is Dr. Robert Beale. I am a coach, mentor, retired teacher, but I'm not retired.
Yes.
I'm retired from the educational system in Pennsylvania. I taught 1 year in Virginia. I was educated in Virginia. I was born in North Carolina,
Yes.
but raised in Virginia. And I came through a lot of the segregation time.
Yes.
And in fact, 62, 63, I experienced that's when it's supposed to be desegregation, but it never happened.
Yes.
But still, I was blessed to come up through the times that I did,
Yes.
because God had us go through things for a reason.
Yes.
And but let me move on. Yes, I was born in North Carolina, raised in Virginia, educated in Virginia, Norfolk State University, and I also attended Westchester University and Temple University when I got my last terminal degree, and I had some courses at Cheney and Penn State.
Yes.
But that doesn't make who I am.
Yes.
I am, first of all, I'm God's man.
Yes.
Thankful to my parents. I am a retired teacher, athletic coach,
Yes.
mentor,
Yes.
servant of God, like I say.
Yes.
And I am presently retired, sort of, and I am coaching youth athletes
Yes.
and mentoring them
Yes.
by way of high school, Cheltenham High School, and also the Ambler Track Club.
Okay.
I'm also training a young man who I'm a mentor to. He's 27.
Yes.
I think it's
Yes.
And I get a joy out of working with youth.
That's right.
I love sports. It gives me an opportunity to impact their lives.
Yes.
At the same time, I'm getting something back too.
Yes.
I'm learning.
Absolutely.
As I had a conversation with you earlier that I'm not going to retire totally because I don't want to be sitting in a retirement home and listening to old people like me complain about their aches.
Yes.
By me working with the youth, I get a chance to find out things about myself. Like I say, I'm giving back.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and I think that's the way God has it. I mean, has it to be. But yes, I am right now mentoring and coaching.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I just want to take it back just a little bit.
Yes.
Now, what was the transition in, like, coming from North Carolina all the way to Philadelphia?
Good question.
Yes.
Like I said, my roots are in North Carolina. My parents were born there. They were sharecroppers. You may have heard of the term sharecroppers.
Yes.
Sharecropping was a term with an occupation given. Actually, it was a glorified slavery. That's what it was.
Yes.
After the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, after the war was over, our people were free,
Yes.
but they weren't free. Still not totally. They were locked in on these farms,
Yes.
the ex-masters, and there was an agreement, but it wasn't a total agreement, that they would do a certain amount of work and share in the profit,
Yes.
but it wasn't shared. They were cheated and all, so the main crops were tobacco, cotton, sugarcane, stuff like that.
Yes.
And these people were cheated. See, after I think if early 1900s, there was some migrations to the north.
Yes.
People came north to work in the industry for a better way of life because it was horrible during that time.
Yes.
Of course, today it's different. People are flocking to the south because a lot of the industries are down there now.
You're right.
Yeah. But anyway, my folks came up in sharecropping and they left North Carolina to come to Virginia, which is not a lot better, but they have some industries there.
Yes.
And some of my people, my uncles, they went further north, D.C. and some to Jersey, the steel mills, and they were able to make a good living.
Yes.
Well, my parents settled in Fredericksburg, Virginia. That's where I grew up. It's a colonial town. Civil War town, all that stuff, you know, but it didn't mean a lot to us. We were still poor.
Yes.
And we were downtrodden. But I noticed that my people always had a drive, no matter how, we didn't know we were poor until later.
Yes.
They had a drive to do better. We were inspired to do better.
Yes.
My father and mother did not have an opportunity to finish high school. They had to work on those farms, you know, and it made it tough for us.
Yes.
So work, and many of the people, our people were glad to get away from those farms, so they married early,
Yes.
so they can get away from that and be on their own.
Yes.
But anyway, I grew up, and parents said to me that you're going to get your education. Finish high school, which is a big thing. If you want to go to college, we do the best we can. So I was a decent student.
Yes.
Wasn't the best, but decent. And sports was a big part of my life, you know, and did well in sports. And I went on to Norfolk State University, Norfolk State College at the time.
Okay.
And I was a walk-on for football and track. So I earned a scholarship the second year. First year, national defense, I had a student loan. So I stayed there. It took me 5 years because I had to figure out what I wanted to do.
Yes.
So finally figured it out. I wanted to be a physical therapist, but they didn't have that, so I did all of the sciences. So ended up majoring in physical education. After going through other majors, medical technology, drafting, electronics, figured out that wasn't what it was going to be. So I knew I wanted to help people.
Yes.
After college, I was going to go on to PT school, but that never happened. I started student teaching. Believe it or not, I did well enough in college football and track. College football, I had a tryout with Dallas Cowboys in 1973. Yeah, as a free agent. It didn't pan out well. I had an injury, but I had my degree.
Yes.
Yeah, had a degree. Came home. I taught 1 year in Stafford County, Virginia.
Yes.
But I still had this strong urge that I should try professional football again.
Yes.
So I quit my teaching job after that year, packed up everything, and came north. It's the World Football League here in Philadelphia area.
Yes.
Came up here, and they were looking for big names.
Yes.
So I ended up playing in a semi-pro league while substitute teaching. The next year I went to the Jets camp. That didn't work well. Of course, that was 45 years ago, 45 pounds ago too. All my hair was black. Time has a way of working on you, you know?
Absolutely.
No one beats time, right? My father used to say that a lot. But anyway, it was a great experience. And football gave me a great experience at Norfolk State, even high school. Mostly Norfolk State. I still stay in contact with those guys now. We're brothers. And some of them have health issues, but we still stay in contact with each other.
Yes.
And some passed away. But I was fortunate enough getting back on track. Came here, substitute teaching, and I was going to leave after 1 year. I ended up staying another year, and the next thing you know, I had a full-time job. I said, 5 years, I'm going to leave. And I've been leaving ever since. It's, you know, but I'm retired from teaching. But I don't regret it, because it was a blessing. It was a blessing in that sometimes you have a plan, God has a bigger plan. I thought I was going to play professional football and make some money. I'm going to do this and that. But I wouldn't change anything now. I wouldn't, because the impact that it had on my life, supposedly I had on others' lives, you couldn't pay me for what it's worth. I still have people, some of my ex-athletes, male and female, they're adults now, they have children, and they come to tell me that how much of an impact it had. Because I believe that you should teach more than the skill itself. You know, you got to teach life skills. You know, you have to teach things such as the intrinsic values like integrity, character, which the thing that disturbs me today in coaching. I love to win, but I love to win the right way. We have to teach our young men and young ladies that sports is an avenue, is a microcosm of life. And that's what we got to look at. But right now it's win, win, win at all costs. If you come in second, you're no good, and that nonsense. No, it's the effort, the participation in actually having the opportunity that counts. Because it's like life. You're going to fall down in sports, you're going to lose games, but you have to learn from those experiences. I just came back from the Junior Olympics. I'm still coaching. I coach football and I coach gymnastics in the past. I coach softball. I don't think I did basketball. I learned quite a bit, but now I dropped football years ago. But I'm still with track and field because it's 18 events and that's a place for everybody. But what I'm saying is I was at the Junior Olympics, which is held at Des Moines, Iowa, which is the National Junior Olympics they have every year. Next year they're going to have it in North Carolina. But there's different places every year. And I watch how some of the athletes participate, great participation. But I was disturbed by some of the coaches, and that not all of them, but few, have the wrong intentions. It's win at all costs. I saw coaches berating some of the athletes because I guess they were disappointed in the place they took. Instead of being happy that they ask the question, did you do your best? Is it your personal best? You know, maybe next time you'll learn from it. And some of these athletes, mind you now, they're 8 years old, all the way up, 8 to 18, and they're competing in their own age group. But I can say that our club, the Anglo Olympic Club, we call it AOC, when we try to teach more than just we teach how to win, but winning is not the only thing.
Yes, absolutely. So I see that you are educated through sports also.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And in fact, that was one of the things I learned from Dr. William Wright, who I got my health and physical education credentials from. He said, we educate through the physical. You know, and that just came back to me. It didn't mean anything then when he said it, but through the participation in the sport itself, which is a discipline, we're educated. We learn a lot about ourselves, about our opponents, and about life, because you're going to fail. Anybody that goes through, never lose a game or anything, then if you live long enough, my parents would say, keep living. It's going to happen. Now, what are you going to do when that happens? Are you going to fall apart? Or are you going to pick yourself up and say, what did I learn from this? Because the sun's going to come up another day. I used to say that. Just as sure if you keep living, it's going to come up. Or you can't. I tell the kids, you're going to get a low moment, but you can't stay in that valley. You got to come out of it. And the other thing with sports too, and I talk to my kids a lot. I say kids, athletes. Before we go out for practice, I talk to them about what we're going to do today, but more so things that's related to sports practice, what is about life. You know, so if you fall, you got to get up. It's no excuse for anybody beating you because you didn't give an effort. Quitting is not an option. You know, it's not an option. That guy or that girl that beats you, that beat you 9 times, you're going for the 10th time, you cannot tuck your tail over and say, oh my God, that person again, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's okay to be afraid, but you got to face the giant every time. And say to yourself, okay, you beat me 9 times. Let's see if you're going to beat me the 10th time. And let's say you come a little closer. Now you say, oh, I'm that close. You know? 4 days ago, we had a young man who ran 800 meters and 400. Very talented. But he's 15, 16 age group. He's been battling this one young man, his opponent, since he's 8, 9 years old, and this guy beat him really bad, the distance. And there was a concern because he had not raced this young man in about 4 years. He had to race him in 2 races. The 800 was our guy's major race. He had the top time coming in. But they all knew that this young man that he was going against was talented, and he had beaten our guy several times. But that was an excellent race, and I don't know if you know about track and field, but he was only beaten by 6/100ths of a second. That's how close the race was. But our young man, Stefan, was really disappointed because he wanted to beat this guy. I said, think about this. You remember that guy used to beat you like that? Now you're right here. Yeah. Yeah. And he's the top in the country in his age group, and you're number 2 in the country for 15, 16 year age group. They both are running faster than some of the 18-year-olds. And the colleges are really, use this term, licking their chops. They can't wait to get them in school. We say, no, they're sophomores going in to be a junior. So his grades are good. But anyway, things like that. You know, we love to see that. And he runs for our club, not the high school, but things like that give me joy. Good student, coachable. Now he's a national caliber runner, and his grades are great. His parents are great. They give us support, and the coaching staff we have is very supportive. We try to nurture these kids, and now we have to make sure they go in the right direction. And sometimes we have to make sure that the college is a good fit for them too.
Now, what's some of the toughest challenges that you had to go through with some of the students that you coached?
Oh gosh, there were several. When I started coaching, like I say, I'm a young guy. No, in the 70s, I started teaching and coaching. I noticed the difference in the 80s, the 90s, 2000, 2010, 2010s, now it's 2020s. I noticed, families, situations dictate a lot of things. And I had to find a way to adjust my teaching style without compromising principles. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've seen some teachers, well, you know, I'm going to compromise it. Yeah, say it, then do it. But I still hold them accountable. But if a kid is having a tough time, young man, young lady have a tough time, and I know about it, I try to give them every opportunity to succeed. You know, and I'll try to find out what's going on. But no excuse, you're not trying. You know, it's no excuse for them. And if you're not going to listen to the staff, myself, I believe in another chance. If you're just outright belligerent, and I say, young man, young lady, listen, there's no place for you here. You're not going to listen. Life is going to be tough. You better listen. You're going to have to listen to somebody. You're not supposed to listen to us. We wouldn't steer you wrong. And most of the time, they'll listen. And some don't, because there's something else going on. You know, we've seen that. There's other things going on. I never forget at one school, inner city, and young man he would come to school intermittently. I didn't see him for weeks. And I finally asked him, what's going on? He said, well, you know, something going on with something going on there. And Mom was strung out, and they would get into a fight. She would kick him out of the house, and he would have to leave and go stay down in the Salvation Army. And while he's there, he had to get a job. You got to work. So it was rough for him getting out of school. But you know, I saw him years later. He's attending one of the area colleges in St. James. He said he made it through, got his GED, now he's in college. I lost track after that. Things like that. There are situations in some of these families that people have no idea what some of these kids are going through. Things that I couldn't imagine what I would do, you know. So we're blessed. We got a parent that cares, a parent that gives, and no longer you have the two-parent anymore. You know, sometimes the grandparents are raising the kids, and they raise theirs, they have to raise others because things are going on in the world. And as coaches and teachers, we have to step in to a degree when we can, and help out when we can. You know.
Absolutely. Now I say, what is an inspirational message that you have for young athletes, you know, growing up now that's really trying to accomplish? What's that inspirational message that you want to get to them so they will never stop, so they won't ever give up on their dreams?
Okay. First of all, whether people don't like me say this, I'll say it anyhow because I believe in a higher being. And I'll never deny that. I say, you are who God says you are. He loves you, and there are people out here that cares like you. And you got to find out who. In fact, I was listening to a message at church today. The pastor said, find out who you are, who to find that group of people. And peer pressure is really tough. Peer pressure is strong during those formidable years, especially teenage, young adult. Nobody wants to be left out. I get that. Went through the stage myself. And sometimes people my age forget that they're going through it, and you got to empathize with the youth sometimes, but you got to tell them the message. Hey, look, it's tough. At times you're going to feel like you're going to be all alone. And even adults go through that. They don't say it, but nobody want to be left out, feel like they're out alone and feel weird. But sometimes if you know that you're right, you're going to have to stay strong and true because you know what the rewards are going to be. Because those people who put that peer pressure on them, you know they're headed down a dead end. You're not going down there. No, I've been down there. I'm not going down there. Okay? Say what you want about me, but I know who I am. And where I'm going. That's what you got to say, you know. And you got to find those people like that who's going to encourage you. That's what I tell them. And they seem to like to hear that, and not enough adults are telling them that. And that's why I wish some of my coaches, they mean well, they got to spend more time on that. To get a kid to do things for you in sports, they have to believe in you. They have to trust you. They have to know that you care about them. And love them. Sometimes you got to give tough love. I can tell you many times I had to issue that out in coaching. I had a young man right now, I'll show it to you later. He's playing in a USFL. Yeah, playing in the US, running back, offensive player of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He doesn't mind me saying his name. Mark Thompson, number 7, Houston Gamblers.
Okay.
Boy, did we had a tough time in high school. We laugh and joke about it now. It wasn't laugh and joking time then. It gave me some gray hairs. Absolutely. But the main thing, he's doing well. He's doing well. He's hoping to get a tryout with, he's 27. 26, 27. He was in the Ravens camp, but he's a nice young man. He's doing very well, found himself, and sometimes you go the hard, rough road, it puts you back, now you have a purpose. we all have gone through something like that. I know I had my stories to tell too. That's another thing, but he's doing well, and he wants a shot at the NFL. Things like that.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Yes.
I tell the kids, coaches are very rewarding.
Yes.
I didn't think it's going to be this rewarding, just to see someone else do well.
Yes.
Knowing that you have a small part in it. So that's great.
Yeah, very inspirational.
Yeah. So that's the message I would tell them.
Now, before we even wrap up, man, I just want to know what is some daily health tips to give to athletes and just to everyday life, just regular people, like some health tips. What are some health tips that you may use?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it took me a while to learn this. For its food,
Yes.
the air we breathe, water, and all that. We live in a polluted society.
Yes.
Polluted society, not only the food and water, but the noise. We got to filter what comes in our minds too. We got to filter that. Even some of the music.
Yes.
I like rhythmical stuff, but you got to filter what they're saying.
Yes.
You can't allow anything in your head or your spirit.
Yes.
It's everything don't go, because you keep doing it enough. It may seem harmless, subliminal, as they may say it.
Yes.
It's getting there. You gotta say no. I don't want to listen to that.
Yes. Absolutely.
I don't. And you gotta guard out. The Bible says guard our eyes too.
Yes.
Some things, and now the food and the water. Of course, I don't mean to rattle all over the place, but I remember the time I was young, we used to go to a stream, go drink out of a stream.
Yes.
Can't do that now, because now it's become so industrialized. See, it was more of an agricultural society then, it was just coming to an end.
Yes.
But now, because of the mass production of crops, they have to artificial fertilizer
Yes.
to get more food out to the world. They spray it with pesticides
Yes.
that run off into the water, and that's having an effect on us.
Yes.
And but yeah, I don't mean to deviate, but eat well, fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
I try to get as much as I possibly can.
Yes.
We were talking earlier, as Brother Omar was saying, I'm a cancer survivor. He discovered I had it. I wasn't down real sick, but the fact that I heard that I had it,
Yes.
it plays with your head.
Absolutely.
You hear the C word, I said, oh my God, my father had it, uncle had it, is this my time to go or what?
Yeah.
But I had someone to speak life into me, lady, she's my spiritual mother. She said, you know what, you calm down, I'm going to pray for you. You're going to be all right. Just do what you need to do.
Yes.
Correct it. And that's what I did.
Yes.
So I went on this journey of cut out certain foods.
Yes.
Sugar, too much sugar. I've read that the average American eats about 170 pounds of sugar a year. Sugar wreaks havoc in the body.
Yes.
It's not they do, but everything we look at it, everything has sugar in it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it causes inflammation in the body. Inflammation causes disease, as Dr. Sebe would say.
Yes. Yes.
We need to eat the stuff that God intended for us to eat. Now, we can't do exactly that because of how we live, but you can help that.
Absolutely.
And my cancer journey, I had to go on a raw vegan diet for a while. That's how I met Arnold, and I met Dr. Sebe.
Yes.
Did that for 7 months.
Yes.
My body healed itself. I didn't believe it at first, but I kept doing it because we have a code in us that God put in us.
Yes.
It's not the drugs that the pharmaceuticals give us
Yes.
that heals us. It's a Band-Aid. It masks the symptoms. That's all it does.
Yes.
I was reading about that. I heard a lot of that. And it will heal itself when you put the right foods, especially raw vegetable juice and vegetable, because the enzymes. I was reading about this on the plane the other day. I read it before that.
Yes.
That the enzymes are still alive, and it causes the body cells. I can't explain it biologically right now, but it causes the body to heal itself.
Yes.
And keep doing that, and the body will right itself.
Yes.
But good diet, good rest.
Yes.
Sleep deprivation is a big problem now. You know, my brother before he passed, he would be up all times of night. I'm not sure saying that's the cause of death, but stress can cause other things in your body.
Yes.
You can play cancer and other stuff.
Yes.
We're made to go to sleep at night. The older people had it. My aunt that lives, she's 100. She'll be 108 next birthday. Those people used to go to bed when the sun went down. I don't believe that, but that's the way God made it. And they would eat wholesome food.
Yes.
And another friend was telling me she went to Jamaica. They were pulling mangroves and coconuts off the tree. And the enzyme is still alive. Man, I could go there for a few months and get my body right. No stress. Nobody after you, you know? So diet, yes. Good water, good food, good rest. And positive friends. Okay? Is that right? But we're chasing the dollar, the money. But there are people who have lots of money. I think God wants us to have things in abundance, but we're out of order.
Yes.
Everything's out of order. Health out of order. Our thinking's out of order.
Yes.
I was thinking about that, and I said we got to get order
Yes.
and prioritize your health. My priority is here first. Relationship with Him.
Absolutely.
Myself. You got to have a good relationship with your fellow man too. You can't be at war with each other.
Yes.
You know, the Bible says, if it's possible, live at peace with all men. If you can't, you got to get away. You don't want some war with people. I mean, you got to protect yourself when it happens. You have to, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
But good water, good food, rest, meditation, a good relationship with higher power. That's all I can think of right now. I'm trying to be at peace. Because we all have an expiration date.
Yes. Peace matters. Peace matters.
Yeah, peace matters.
Now to wrap up everything, right? I noticed that we are here in the Black Reserve Bookstore.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Brother Anwar Muhammad.
Yes.
Peace and love to that brother. Very
Peace
good
and
brother.
love to Anwar. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad I came in today.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just even to about this store specifically. What inspires you just about this store?
Oh my gosh. First of all, Anwar is a great human being. He's filled with so much humanity. And this store provides a plethora of opportunities to explore your history. He has books galore. I bought books in here that I still have now. And it's like a haven.
Yes.
It's a haven. You come here to find things, and in fact, he doesn't have the oils yet, certain body oils yet, but it's all right. The books, I love coming here. Yeah, and we get into good conversations a lot of times on the world's issues, especially from a black perspective, which is needed. We need to have these conversations and keep it real, and what's our place here in these United States and in the world, So I enjoy coming here, and I hope he stays in business for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I'm a true supporter.
Yes. I haven't been in a while, a few weeks, but I bought several things. Wow, like I said, and I support him wholeheartedly. I'm glad he's in the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very powerful, brother.
Yes.
He was actually in my second edition of Black 31 magazine.
Yes.
We highlight that was our first business that we put in the Black 31 magazine.
Yes.
Because Black stands for beautiful love, always carries knowledge.
Okay.
And 31 stands for champion. So I always seen that brother as a champion.
Yes, he's a champion.
That's exactly why he's in the magazine.
I appreciate you, but this was a phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to say one other thing. I appreciate about Anwar, the fantastic job he's doing with his son. I met he and his son. He's being a great father to his son.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I think he has two, doesn't he? But I just met one.
Yes.
I think he's nice. Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, I appreciate you so much. This interview was amazing, to be honest with you. And I soaked up so much knowledge, man. I would, to be honest with you, I would love to do a second interview with you. That's
We will do that in the
knowledge
future.
I was soaking up just from understanding, because I still want to know just a little bit more.
Yes.
And
some more things I'd like to share with you another day.
yes.
And I'm so happy that you have the know-it-all or the interest to seek that.
Yes.
Some people, they don't want to hear nothing
I love
until
learning.
it's too late. Good.
I love learning. Just hearing, I think this brother has so much knowledge that I want to be attached to it. I want to learn.
I was like that when I was young.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to know so much about my history. I found out that, because I would ask questions, and brothers said, why are you asking these questions? And now they're asking me about things because I asked my grandmother about her mother, her grandmother. And one of my paternal grandmothers said her grandmother was sold in Richmond as a slave, you know. And that stuck with me. And I was able to, in fact, a family tree, I was able to get back to 1865 because I think my father's grandfather was born, he was like 4 or 5 years old at the time. But I remember that. And I'm sorry I didn't get to ask some of the older people. There I was able to check out the slave schedules, which is before the, what do you call it, census. Folks weren't on the census. We were on the census of the slave masters down south. I don't know about the freedmen here. But you heard of Charles Blockson?
No.
He wrote the Pennsylvania Underground Railroad. He just passed away. All of his slave artifacts are at Temple University. Yeah, I will talk about that in the future. He helped me. He said, look, it's going to be difficult for you to search back unless you knew what plantation they were on, or you knew what ship they came in on, because a lot of their boats came in on ships and stuff. But they kept our people in the dark. They forbid us to, you know, and then some of them were so traumatized. They say, I don't want to speak about it. You know, I don't want to speak about it, but I had one, my father's older cousin was telling me she was herself, she told me as much as she could, that she remembered when she was 4 years old, that they had a lady staying with them, she was close to 100. And I said, oh my God, that must have been my father's great-grandfather, you know. And she had a lot of knowledge and seen a lot of things. It's like some books he has here, it's a series of them. One book, it says, the history of the slave men on the plantation, or one series speaks about inbreeding, stuff like that. They forced the slaves to breed, you know. And what gets me angry, DeSantis, those folks are trying to keep us from teaching the history of our folks. Not to get mad and do something, but they need to know where they came from. You know, what happened, why we're in the position we're in. And after the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln allowed us to get, our folks to get 40 acres of mule. When he was murdered, his Vice President Johnson reversed that, took that stuff back, and then the Klansmen came up, and they just came up and started taking the land out from our people. Yeah, and that's why we don't have generational wealth. But society makes it seem like blacks are shiftless. That's why they don't have anything. They're less intelligent. That's why all this stuff was taken from them. And a lot of inventions and patents were taken.
You're right about that, because my grandfather, I found out that my great-grandfather, his name is George Addison First. I'm the fourth.
Okay.
He was the first man on East Coast to ever invent Oriental rugs.
Wow. You see, a lot of these things, they had to go through pure H to get a patent. They had to go as much as have a white person front for them to get their name into the patent. I read some of that. That's the nonsense they had to go through. And understand that Thomas Edison, what's his name? Black guy, I can't think of his name. He did the filaments of the bulb. He doesn't get enough credit. I can't think of his name. Anyway, I got it at home. Things like that. Back in the early 1900s, it was tough. Oh, I did tell you I came from segregation. I remember the bathrooms were separate. I was on my father's truck once. I'm 11 years old. This is Virginia, and they had restaurants. In the bathroom, colored only, white only. And never forget, I got out of the truck. He said, "Here, take this, go and buy a hamburger." And I tried to go in the front. No, don't go in the front door. Why not? Just do what I tell you. Yeah. You don't just wash things away like that. That's what DeSantis, these people, oh, well, you shame. No, it's not about shaming you. It's history. You see the Hebrews or the Jewish negating their history? This is what happened. And we can't forget. Because I had one brother ask me one time, "Do you think that really happened?" I said, "Yes, sir, it did happen." He didn't know because no one told him. It did happen. We have a generation of people not educated, and all of a sudden you start, it's going to happen like, oh, did that really happen? If you don't have your ancestors telling them. It has to be passed down. It happened.
We got to begin to educate ourselves.
Yes.
Every day on the things, on our history.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I remember I met a sister who was from Nigeria.
Yes.
She didn't want to know about her history. It seemed odd to me. And I said, how do we not want to know about the history of people? How do we stop making the same mistakes if we don't know about the history?
Good or bad, you got to know it.
Exactly.
You know, you got to know it. But then if you don't know it, you get erased, and then it's, oh, you know what, it didn't happen. Baloney. It did happen.
Absolutely.
You know.
So, listen, I enjoyed the interview.
Yes, sir.
I want to come back and do another interview with you because we got so much information to cover.
Yes.
So much information.
I like what you're doing.
Absolutely.
This is great, and it's going to reach. Are you on YouTube or what?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. You keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate you.
Okay, maybe you'll have your own station one day. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.